cut my hair. Cut everything. When in doubt, just cut it out. She's chewing on this pillow. Right now I have several birds. Just when I was thinking about something, I was listening to Mystic 9, Intuitive. Y'all heard your last message if you're watching. So beautiful what you said in the beginning. She was just extending her gratitude and saying how one of her subscribers needed some money and I asked her for $50. Long story short, she gave him 96, and that people, from time to time ask her for help, and she does give them whatever she can, and that she was just saying how much she appreciates everyone that donates to her channel and stuff like that, and how she does always give back. And she said, I will have a community of people, I will have land to put this community on, and I will help people, that I will do that. And I said, oh my gosh, this is my favorite message. And listening to you, it really helps. It just triggered me to start to tell some other things that are super important when I was talking about my prisoner friends and girls that I love so much. There's a lot of people that I know, even in the men's prisons. I mean, I don't have connection with them physically, or, I don't talk to any of them, but what I was going to tell y'all, what I've come to realize is that oftentimes when you hear about there's somebody investigating something, I'm always thinking someone's investigating. It's me. And if you guys are investigating, it's y'all too. It's not always like the kind of, for the longest time, I'm like, I wonder who's doing the investigation. It's us, Anyway, look. Dolly, cute, right? I'm about to cut it. So in the meantime, the other thing was when I was gonna share this message, there was a robin right there and a robin right here, which reminds me of the bee priestess, who's been phenomenal. I love you. I don't know her name. I don't know your name, your real name, your first name, the name you go by, besides bee priestess. But she is the one that helped me understand about the RICO case. I didn't know what RICO charges were or what a RICO case even was until one day I listened to her. It was one of her crime. Was it? She's doing an investigation too. The crime hour, she calls it. I want to say it was back in October probably. And she was telling about CO, she keeps saying CO, copper, CO. And then Jerry Reed, which I love you, Jerry Reed. He is a aerospace engineer. He's got more information than anybody I know at this point. I mean, he is full of insight, which reminds me, he'll discuss a lot of things, including the fact that we don't actually need electricity. It's a whole scam in itself. And he created a machine. It's called Codex. They had some kind of a convention recently. Mel Carmichael. It's on his page, Jerry Reed, JerryReid. These are big players in our evolution. Anyway, Mel Carmichael. Yeah, Jerry Reed. So, but anyway, the bee priestess was telling me, she kept saying the letter CO kept coming out. CO. And then she started spelling H, a card, H, another one, A, another card, R, another one, R, Y, Harry. My papa, our grandfather, your great-grandfather, was giving me the information about the RICO case, which is around the world. Massive, right? The entire inheritance he left for me was also the one stolen. Okay, he was making sure I knew this. Had I not been in tune with intuitive readers, I didn't even know what they were, y'all. I had no idea about any of this until like September last year. But then, so B Priest is the one that gave me the insight about the RICO case. And I'm the baseline, but these are people that gave me information that are divine beings of light, one of the angel angles. And but Intuitive 999 999, she inspired me to continue the conversation about the girls in prison, and they got people in prison, and how like when she's talking about how things, okay, something's being investigated right now, this and that. Like, I've investigated things because I went into the prison, and then I'm sharing the information, and then there's other people, whoever's, you know, the forefront with us is going to go and handle things accordingly, involving these particular people and involving the whole prison system in itself, the justice system, the corrections department. You know, I'm going to tell you another story. It just reminds me, it came to mind. There's a young boy who was like 18. Okay. He had 7 years aggravated time in Texas prison. You know, I've been investigating all kinds of stuff. I didn't realize I was a psychic investigator per se. I just have taken a lot of interest in justice and in human behavior and stuff like that. He is now a capital murder charge because one of the female guards in there that has the power over these people, right, was having an affair, relationships with this guy and something else. Who knows what the actual story was. Okay. He ended up killing her. God knows she's probably playing with him. She shouldn't have been touching him. They shouldn't have had anything going on. She was responsible for his safety. And so you got a man in there with no air conditioning. Now they have since put him in there since I've made a whole thing about it. And there's a lot of people who fought for that for a long time. You got a man in there, young man. He's in there for 7 years. Full of testosterone, full of rage because there's no healing. You have a guy in there that is, every man is going to want to have something to feed their flesh, right? Of course, this is by nature. Now you have a woman, there's a white butterfly, that has power, but is in a position to protect these people and to keep order in the corrections department, in the system, in the prison, men's prison for this time we're going to talk about. And so with all this restraint, all these conditions, all this torment, all this obvious by nature, you know, all these things going on, like for another example, okay, so when they didn't have air in there, this is the deal. I looked into this too. They would blow fans. And when I tell you some of these men and women, there was only one, I want to say, where I was at just happened to be the only unit in all of Texas that actually had air conditioning, guys. And they have these people in like warehouse buildings, most of them, or something where there's like, when I say hot, it's like 130 degrees straight up in Texas summers. Beyond inhumane. And then they're terrorizing you in there. And then they turn on the fans. And I researched this with ChatGPT actually. What happens when you blow a fan when it's 130 degrees? It exasperates exhaustion and high dehydration, which essentially is frying your brain. So you want these people to be functioning at some sort of normalcy and to get out and be a functioning citizen in society, right? Without any correction, without any healing proper. So here's this young guy, 7 years, and now he's got a life sentence because he killed this woman that was supposed to be responsible for his safety. I'm going to check you right now. See? Just sit there. I'm gonna let him leave. I'm gonna do this until he does. What do you think? You're a big bad wolf? Look, I dance with wolves. You know why? Because I've been around a bunch of them. The kind that have been in captivity. And they haven't been in prisons, all of them. I'm talking about free world wolves. Okay, since you want to stay there, Mr. Big Bad Wolf, let me show you what we're gonna do. I'm gonna interrupt my flow. We're gonna chop and screw. That's how we roll on choppers. Watch this. You already know what time it is. Ain't no rest for the wicked. Watch this. I'm gonna get his license plate number so we can all see what's going on. GB12245. See how it works? Okay. Anyway, Southside, we roll on choppers. Oh, they got my video so blocked. Y'all know they do. But again, it wasn't for the masses to see. It's for me to tell you to, whatever y'all to tell me, and we continue to expand our frequency, and we continue to, you know, righteously rule. in rain. Okay. He'll be noted soon. I mean, he already is. But, you know, some people like to be like the boss hog outlaws. Nah. Don't go down like that, homeboy. Okay. So, anyways. But, yeah. Because we know my views have been restricted for years. They really have. I just didn't know what the, you know, extent of it was. But the other reason why also I'm not allowed to have a lot of comments or people looking at my stuff, I mean, the right people are going to see, right? But the reason why I'm not allowed to have a lot of views is because my money doesn't come from the views on YouTube. Like, oh, let me get my check. I don't even know how that works. I've never had any money from any of these, any of my messages in terms of like, you know, directly to me. So I just do it because I'm passionate about it. I love people. I love to help people. I always have. But anyway, so again, when I started this message though, there was a robin right here and a robin right here, and the Lord was like, these are your girls from jail. This is prison girls. They're caged birds and they want to be freed. They're all going to come through in birds because that's their dream and their goal is to be free. Mine too. I mean, but I'm able to function and do things in such a way. It looks like maybe I don't have the ideal situation, but what is ideal? What is ideal? Really? Because I used to believe that I was idealistic. But my idea of ideal and yours is going to probably be different maybe, you know? It just depends on who you are. But for me, ideal is just literally being able to flow and say whatever is real. And if I have something to share and it comes to mind, I didn't know how beneficial and how sacred the information was. And specific. And divinely guided at all times. You know, all the times I've been accused of things and people are accused of things that are, believe me when I tell you, majority of people that are locked up, especially for long periods of time, I mean, of course they've been subjected to witchcraft, right? Every one of them. But there are those that are a direct threat to the kingdom. And guess what? Of darkness. And guess what? Hey, they make moves in the prisons. Trust me, their presence, not only does it permeate and infuse the environment, but it also, their prayers go beyond the walls. Any walls. Because I might have this little wall in this little car. It might look like I don't have a reach, a connection to the world, but at large, I do in such a massive way. I mean, millions and billions of people have seen me, whether it looks like it or not, you know? And so another reason why I am humbled to this degree is to show humanity how you can be humble without having like all the finances, because it's about having the riches of the heart inside of you. It really is. And I know, and people, I mean, I think we're getting to a point now where it's becoming more ideal to resonate with the idea that riches are not about money at all, because money is nothing without energy. And when you are operating in divine energy, that's valuable. And so the kingdom of darkness is getting taken out regardless. You know, it's getting better and better, even just my presence being around. You know, the thing is, reality will reshape itself around us. It has to. Darkness cannot exist where we are. And that's why it's like the enemy's like, oh, I'm going to get you one more time. Oh, you know, let me do this, or let me send one more. That's so played out, you know. But bringing awareness to the collective, it's not a 9-to-5 job. It is a calling. It is our privilege to be able to persevere and to, you know, project properly into the world. You know, but and again, back to the investigating thing. So when you hear them say, well, if someone's being investigated, or this was investigated, or this was revealed, I was always like, who did it? Who wonder who says what? You know, no, it's us speaking clearly. Clarity, bringing clarity to the collective. And that's the other thing when they say divine collective, which I used to say that a lot in the beginning, when I started making videos. But divine collective is people everywhere, far and wide, the world of light beings, illuminating. And every time we speak the truth, he's telling me this right now. Every time we're telling the truth, we get to get brighter and brighter and brighter. And here's the thing, we're like supernovas regardless. There's nothing that anyone can do to put a supernova out, right? It's going to just get bigger and brighter. So it's like, either they're gonna, what do you call it? Or get off the pot. I don't talk like that, like, for sure. If I'm gonna say anything vulgar, I'll keep it on the baseline. And I'm not gonna shame myself for the bottom of my breast coming out of my shirt. I mean, you know, I could have like, oh my god, stop the video, and I would have done that before. Believe me, I've been exposed in such a way across the globe without my consent. I'm not gonna sit here and shame myself. That was obviously not my intention. So, if anybody has any judgment, just go ahead and swallow it, because oh gee, only God. But what else? If you can't beat them, join them. Hey, that is where it's at. If you can't beat us, which you can't, join us, which you can. You have options. But caged birds want to be freed. No bird wants to be in a cage, right? No. And that's one of the messages also that Queen Bee Priestess did. She's like, you're free from your cage. A caged bird that's being freed, or something like that. And you know, people could see the light in us before we could see it in ourselves. Although people always said to me, you know, you're such a light. I'm like, oh, you know, I knew that. I was always really positive. In the most, what is it? Something optimism. It's like a profound optimism. Oh, another thing is one of my psychotherapists, Wendy Bird. There's two birds. Just flew over. Said, you're really, you know, almost like overly empathetic. And I thought about that word when I talked to her. I said, think about the word empathic, whatever you want to call it. It's got pathetic in it, right? I know, I mean, it does. It's like empathetic, like encourage, emphasize. These are just like adding, they're positive. They're all positive words to me. And no, we were overly sensitive to some people, but we're just naturally sensitive people. And I tell you what, one time, I mean, I got so desensitized there for a while. I mean, I was taking drugs, doing drugs, shooting drugs, snorting drugs, you name it, over time. I mean, I got worse, and then I got better, but then I got really good. Now I'm free from it. Hallelujah to that. You know, I mean, it was just something to hurry up and change my mindset. Somehow, it didn't even matter how. I didn't even care as long as I wasn't what it was at the time. But there was the time when I said, Lord, I want to be sensitive again. I literally said this to him. And when I tell you all the sensitivity that came over me, it was so unbearable almost, to the point where I'm like, whoa, what did I ask for? Is I'm too sensitive. I was crying about everything. If I killed an ant, oh my God. I mean, seriously. I was so sensitive all of a sudden. But it's like, you know, we were always in turn trying to mask our sensitivity. And that is one of the greatest gifts that we have, is to be able to feel. To be able to feel. Who doesn't want to be human and to actually feel human emotions and to have all of our senses tapped in, locked in? You know, I mean, that was another thing the Lord told me. We're going on a sensory journey, and we're going to tap into all of our senses. I mean, it is a gift to be able to see, be able to smell, taste, feel. You know, I mean, it really, really is. Can you imagine if you didn't have the ability to see? That some people don't have that option, that gift, sight, real sight, like just to simply look around, or to be able to smell something that's beautiful, the aroma of roses or just lavender, or to be able to touch one another. What if you couldn't feel at all when you touch somebody, or even your own skin? You know, these are phenomenal blessings that we do have, and it's real easy to get caught up in what's going on negatively, stuff like that. But we already know it's like, okay, a lot of wickedness, a lot of darkness, a lot of inhumane activity that we've all endured. But moving forward, we need to just remember like how astonishing our life actually is, because we are sensitive. To be able to tap into all of our senses is such a phenomenal gift. I mean, Those are gifts. So when, you know what, that just reminds me, like, Devin, when you were saying, like, what's your gift? Well, and, you know, you just named, like, 15 gifts. Like, okay, the gift of being able to touch, to feel, to smell, to see. Those are gifts. And I believe we all have taken that for granted. All of us. But not anymore. Sometimes it's called back to the basics. My Papa Clark, and I'll get this out in a little bit, he has a whole channel notebook he wrote back and forth with the Lord. Jesus, Joseph and Mary, God. I didn't know that. I mean, these are profound, prophetic letters. They're really simple and sweet. My Papa, James Nathan Thomas Clark. But he said back, he would always say, John said he always said back to the basics. And then also sometimes the obvious needs to be pointed out. That's right in our face. Sometimes it needs to be, we need to be reminded of what's obvious. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's taken us a lot of years, a lot of desensitization and resensitization, if these are words, to remember what it is all about. And it's like, we just need to also be so grateful. Okay, yeah, we woke up, but the fact that we can breathe. Like my Papa, James, he died from pulmonary fibrosis of the lungs, from asbestos, which is a slow suffocation of his lungs. It was like becoming more and more inflamed, his lungs, and he just eventually suffocated to death. That is how he ascended on March 16th, 3/16 of 2010. And many, they did poison her with the air in her room and whatever else they were giving her. She had so much fluid on her lungs. When I saw her, I got her some Mucinex. I mean, she was fine a few months before that. But I don't really know to what extent Harry was strangled to death by Jimmy. And I don't know what they did to Gloria. Probably the same thing. Being alive is a gift. Being able to breathe and speak. A voice. What a gift. To be able to even say hi. Which reminds me, 22:14. Both my boys, I don't know, Claudia, what went on with her. If there was medical stuff, I know that you struggle with some like eating stuff or being skinny. We're skinny by nature. Also because we were under so much anxiety a lot of times and stress that it was just not easy for us to digest reality, right? At the very least. Dylan and Devin both, I used to have to take them to the ear, nose, and throat, or just they would get ear infections a lot. And Dylan was the first one. You're okay. 22:44. Dylan was the first one. Oh, there was like 6 appointments in a row where he had an ear infection. Now, mind you, I used to think he was ignoring me a lot when I would talk to him. What is going on? It's okay. The sirens. You like this incense? This dude's doing spell work. Obviously. Hey! FBI's watching you! Fucking bitch. Y'all. Excuse my language, but no. I'm not gonna shame myself for cussing either and getting pissed. I'm in the middle of talking to my family. You know what I'm saying? I mean, her nail claws are in my back right now, clawing me. I'm not going to go into it all because... Anyways, but what I was saying is, Dylan used to have to go... Burp should bring it back. Okay. Her nails. Her back nails, I tried to cut them yesterday. She wasn't having it. Anyway, you want to sit in my lap? You want to go down there? Okay. Whatever you want to do. I don't want to deal with that. I'm busy. So, Dylan, you know, okay, so 6 ear, nose, and throat appointments, or no, it's just a regular doctor. And finally we got to the ear, nose, and throat doctor. Now, during that time, he would not listen to me when I say he was 2. Oh, no, he's almost 3. He would just say, what I thought was just totally ignoring me. I was like, oh my God, this kid does not listen to me at all. I'm like, Dylan. Finally get to a point where we go to the specialist and they're like, he can only hear 85% of what you're saying. What? He's essentially hears everything like he's underwater. Muffled. So however he's hearing, he's speaking. It wasn't that he couldn't hear me. I mean, it wasn't that he was ignoring me. He literally could not hear me. So, also, his tonsils. Hence, his voice is powerful. I also struggle with a lot of tonsillitis, but this kid, and strep throat. I used to get that all the time. But not anymore. His tonsils, like when I tell you his size of his throat was like probably that big. The tonsils were so massive. I mean, his throat was like, it was like they were going to close up on him because his voice is so powerful. Dylan. And so we got ears, nose, and throat. He got the adenoids removed, his tubes in his ears, and we got his tonsils removed. And when I tell y'all, I really can't stand when she tears up stuff because that's what he's doing spell work to do because it irks me. Stop. No. I'll give you something else. Let me get you a toy. The day of his surgery, he said, don't spit. Just hold it in your mouth and I'll get you a cup and let you, let the saliva come out. He goes, finally after some hours went by, he's going like that, letting all the spit go into a cup, and he goes, I can hear. First time since he was born, I guess. So he's like 3 years old, right? Telling you don't remember it probably. But this is what happened. This is how you know the attacks on your voice. And Devin, he got tubes in his ears as well. Now, whether he needed it or not, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't. I don't know. It's like, everything is a scam when it comes to medical. I'm going to have to walk over there and tell him, hey, because you're not going to have my babies doing weird stuff, dude. Okay? Let me get you a toy. Hold on. Here, come up here. Come up here. Come up here. Good girl. Come on. Here. Get you some more water. Hold on, here, you can lick this. This is good. It's a little bit, I got, earlier when I was like, I bought, 2733, Nanny. When I bought Dr. Pepper and the green drink, I'm like, it's 33.18. Well, I also added a cheesecake. Forgot to mention. I was like, that sounds expensive, right? Okay, here, you want that? I'm licking the hair. You can have some of that. Anyway, so Devin, yeah, he had his, here's another one. And another one. And Devin had his adenoids and tubes and tears. But both of those boys, when I talk about superstar swimmers, they've been on the swim team their whole life. Balcones Woods, the Blue Wave. And I would go to all their games, all their swim meets by myself. Every time. By myself. Every now and then maybe someone would go with me. And then the Washington family was very cold. They wouldn't even speak to me. Which more than anything hurt me for my kids. This is of course after I got out of prison is when I would get to go to see them. Because they were, 5 years I was gone. So it's a long time. But I would go to, I would stop what I was doing. There for a while I was doing cosmetology school on Saturdays. I would do Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Like 10 or 12 hour days for 1,500 hours. And then after that, I would take off. I would never work on a Saturday because that was when their swim meets were. And don't this outside for now. No, what's up? That's days they would have their swim meets. Mainly not, like I said, the Washington and then football games. You name it, their games. I was there. Their band concerts. You name it. Hey, I would go take them lunch during the day. Middle school and high school. Not so much high school, but middle school, yeah. I would go and have lunch with them. And I was probably the only mom that did that still, honestly. Parent-teacher meetings, PTA. I was wherever I could be where my kids were. Trust me when I tell you. And people, I'm sure have whatever they said about me. I don't really give a damn. My kids know. They know. But it was so uncomfortable for them. It would piss me off the most for them. Because how awkward is that these people that you love, that love you, that care for you, that you live with, Don't even acknowledge your mother being there. This is ridiculous, man. I'm sorry you guys had to go through that. Okay? Anyway, if I could, on the cool, right now, I'd probably take my car and go smash them with mine. Georgia Thomas, she did that to Richard Travers' SUV, which was in my name, with her car. Twice in front of a bunch of undercovers in Austin, Texas. At Capitol Plaza. Well, it was right before Richard died. Got killed by the Colton Coven. Like, I really would just go and hit him right now. In Jesus' name, I would. You see what's going on. And again, it doesn't just affect us here, which we're enough, but the fact that it extends to the masses of people that are light energy, specifically my kids, my family. I would just drive right and hit him. I don't think anybody would doubt or question it, really, but I'm not willing to take that risk at this time. And honestly, I don't really want to think about a person's body being hurt like that. It just sounds like an idea to me. It's more about just crashing into something. Just, I don't know, it sounds liberating. And then he'd probably stop. I bet he'd stop, wouldn't he? Anyway. I've never done anything like that. I've never hurt anybody physically. I mean, I'm sure to some degree, but not like total violence. Although, don't get me wrong, I've thought about it a lot of times. For sure. But, I mean, more times than not, probably is because of the trouble I would get into. But, I mean, it's the one thing to have those thoughts. And it's not unusual when you're dealing with straight up demons like this all the time. But to actually do something like that, hey, that's for you guys that are on the front line doing the actual prosecutions and the executions, because they're coming. They're coming. Hey, if y'all haven't checked into the news lately, which I don't, but I did get something about the things that they're going to start doing again, the prosecutions and the executions. Might want to check it out if you haven't, and especially if you're still doing this kind of stuff. It's going to be a little bit more severe than me crashing into your car, which I'm not doing. But it's not going to be like, oh, slap on the wrist, go to the jail and sit there and get in trouble and go to more jail in Texas because you had sex with a lady and then you killed her because she was messing with your head and taking you out of your safety when she's responsible for that at the very least. Can you get in the back for a second so I can cut this shirt? Please? Here. Kiss. I love you. Good girl. You're so good, okay? Thank you all for your prayers, and Daddy. Okay, I'm going to stop this video now. I'm going to cut my shirt. I'll be back in a little bit. Love y'all.